hair algae. Hey, this is Nomad coming at you. What I showed you was a picture of hair algae that's growing on one of my live rocks. Now, when we're new hobbyists and we're new to the hobby of saltwater aquariums and we're just starting out, many of us will have this white rock here. And what'll happen is over the course of a couple months, as your system processes and it develops, it'll start to get green algae on the top of it. I know that when I first was starting out, I had that problem where all of a sudden there was all this green algae everywhere. It came out and it kind of just grew really fast, and I freaked out and I didn't know what it was, and I was trying to figure out how to take care of it, in which case I went to my local store, and one of the local stores that I was with at the time, and they gave me some chemical solution to take care of it, and I put that into my tank, and voila, it did solve my green hair algae problem. But what I'm trying to say is that you don't have to use chemicals. Chemicals are not the greatest thing. Now, yes, you have your buffers, you have your alkalinity buffers, you've got your different buffers that we use, and that's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is chemicals to clean your tank. I've done a video on the biological filtration that we have, and I've done a video on the mechanical filtration that we have. Now, when you are new, and if you start out and you've got all this algae growing everywhere, what you need to do is you need to go and you need to get snails. Snails help control algae. But I'm not saying go and order 1,000 snails. Don't put 100 snails into your tank, especially if your tank is brand new. Why? Because you're gonna get all those snails, you're gonna put them in your tank, they're gonna eat all that algae, and then maybe you're newer and you don't have a lot of biological microorganisms for those snails to continue eating, and they're going to starve, and they're going to die. And when they die, you're going to end up with all these shells all over the place, and you're going to have crazy nitrates, and it's going to mess your system up. And so what you do is you go down and you just get a couple snails, and you put them in there, and you see how they're doing, and you monitor them. And if you need more, go down to your local store and get a couple more. Now, the two types of snails that you can use for this are the turbos and the astras. The turbos work really well. They're a much bigger snail, and I've got two turbos over here, and they're cleaning up right now, and you can't really see them, but I've got two turbos, and I've got a couple astras, and they kind of help to just maintain the algae, the hair algae growth on my rocks. Now, if you get a tang, depending on the tang you get, they will also eat that. In fact, they'll eat so much of it that you're going to have to continue feeding them other things like seaweed, and then, of course, there's certain types of foods that you can get rated towards them, some frozen foods that you feed to them, and it's got similar characteristics of algae, and that's what you feed them. But if you get hair algae, don't freak out. Don't go buy chemicals. The ocean has a natural way of how it takes care of these sorts of problems. And where there's a will, there's a way to do it a more natural way, and not just go and buy a bunch of chemicals and just completely throw everything off in your tank, possibly kill your fish. And so anyways, I just wanted to share that with you because I understand that it can be kind of scary as you're starting out and you're seeing things that you may not be familiar with. And so anyways, that is just some just opportunal advice. Take it as you will. If you want to use chemicals, that is completely up to you. This is your hobby. You do it the way you want to do it. You do you and have fun. And there's a lot of information out there on this topic, but I figured I would share that with you. Anyways, have a great day. And this is Nomad out.